Okay, so please excuse me for the interruption. Yesterday, my daughter started crying and I was not able to finish this review. So, back on this, trying to finish up with modern romance. There was actually one more part that I wanted to talk about. This is in... what chapter is this? I feel like it should be towards the end. I'm so sorry. It's chapter 7, Settling Down. There's one section that really actually made me kind of, it's chuckling. It made me chuckle because the scenarios given after I read them, I was like, am I really surprised that this happened? Is it really that surprising? So here we go. So the segment of it is called Monogamy / Monogamish. And in the beginning 2 paragraphs, it states, I'm just going ahead and saying, no matter what their dating situation, people are torn between the benefits of a faithful monogamous relationship and the novelty and excitement of single life. I am going to try my best to talk about this and not give away like a lot of my friends' business, because that's not what friends do. But I thought this is a very interesting point because I feel like this desire comes up a lot in dating relationships. And there's actually, as a sidebar, in Aziz Ansari's Master of None, he actually has an episode where he has a girlfriend on the show, and in the beginning stages of their relationship, they're like having sex all the time, and it's exciting and it's great. It's like that honeymoon stage in a relationship. And then as the episode progresses and as the show progresses, they're just having it's sex, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the same enthusiasm, the same energy. And so he was, in addition to other, I guess, cracks in their foundation, he was kind of concerned that was kind of like the end of their relationship. Like that fire meant that we're on the fritz. And so I think a lot of people have that mentality about relationships. It's not going to be like hot sex all the time. It's not going to be like you just can't wait to see them and talk to them. Like once you get into a more comfortable part in your relationship, just the energy changes, and not in a bad way. But anyways, that's a sidebar. But yeah, going back to this, I just thought that it's just very interesting, because I do think people confuse the changes. And in addition to that, I think in order to keep things exciting, now I'm going to preface this by saying I know everybody's not like this, and I think it takes a special person to be polyamorous or allow your significant other to have a hall pass, so to speak. And even then, I think people still take L's when they find out. And this is like just a quick excerpt that I'm going to read, because it was funny to me, because what else? Again, what do you expect? So do I read this whole thing? So I guess this is the conversation between a heterosexual couple. I thought I was being realistic, so once I had a conversation and said, I'm not going to divorce you if there's an indiscretion or two, but you have to be like the CIA about it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to sniff it. If you've got to be that level, so it's invisible. But we had the secondary policy, if I ever wanted to know, that he had to tell the truth. And so we were on vacation for my birthday in Kyoto, and I asked. He said, I don't think I want to tell you this on your birthday. And I thought, okay, so now I know that he's doing something. And I said, well, why don't you just tell me how many people? Then he said, give me a second. He needed to calculate it. He came back with the following number. And I want you to notice that at the point we're 13 months into our marriage, 26 individuals. I was expecting 1, maybe 2. I did not expect 26. And then it says soon after that their relationship ended. I mean, I don't like that any marriage, as a married woman, I hate hearing about marriages ending. I hate it. With that being said, what good could have come from this situation? So you gave your guy a hall pass. For those of you who don't know what a hall pass is, it's when you allow your significant other to have like a sexual indiscretion without penalty. They decide on how many times you can have, how many hall passes you have, like, you know, I guess for how long it's good for. But yes, that's basically the gist of it. You are allowed to get it in with somebody who is not your significant other. And so she did this, and then it blew up in her face because, again, her reality did not meet her expectations. She thought that her husband was going to be like, oh, just for like modesty's sake, I'll just keep the numbers down. And in fact, he got his numbers up, so she was salty about it. And so I think, after that, I just don't think she was able to see them or their relationship the same. So with that, I just, your expectations, one, that you, God, I can't get my words out. When you're, oh no, is that my daughter again? My God. When you're in a committed relationship, you have to decide, like, really, like, what are your limits? Like, what are you willing to put up with? And two, I just don't think anyone the person getting the hall pass benefits, but I just don't see how that's necessarily like conducive to a healthy relationship. I know there's a lot of people who are going to be coming for me if you're even watching this, but and I think she should have, and I mean, if that was the case, she's going to stick with her hall pass. I do think that she should have just never asked, because now that she knows their relationship was never the same. But yeah, I think that your expectations, you really need to communicate what you want in a relationship and not bend towards what someone else wants. Because I think a lot of times with this, I think there's like one person who wants to be not monogamous, and that may sound initially great to the other person, but then as it plays out and goes on, they're just like, I'm not about that life. So I don't know monogamy is not that bad though. I mean, yeah, like, especially, when you get married, yeah, that's it. But you just find that you find your happy place, and everybody does that. I don't know if this is making any sense, but I'm going back to that story. Like, when I read that for the first time, I actually like laughed, because I just was like, I don't know what she was. I think I was more laughing at her saltiness, because she thought that her husband was going to have like, oh, I'm not going to use this hall pass, and he totally did. Unlimited hall pass, no expiration date, totally did. So yeah, so I'm just gonna like wrap this up, because I just want this lasting too long. But I do think it's a good book, and I think it's a good conversation starter about what we need, just bettering our communication with, like, not only like this, with just everybody, like anybody you're going to be in a relationship with. You have to be crystal clear with what you want and what are your expectations. And I mean, I think if you do that, I think you just be, I don't know, and more successful. People are just scared to talk, scared of like someone who they like actually saying no or not being into that. But that's okay, because that makes, you can kind of put them aside and make room for somebody else. There is a funny part in there where he talks about people's, specifically dudes, way of getting a female's attention on a text, like the continuous, like almost like harassment, like hey, instead of, they just send that to you. I mean, to me, that's like my generation's equivalent of like when a guy rolled out of a car and was like, hey, red shirt, hey, blue pants, whatever we're wearing. I don't know if they still do that. I'm not even that old, but I just feel like times have changed so much. But anyways, there's better ways to get someone's attention that you are interested in, but I don't know why that's a thing. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you for listening, and I will try to have a more concise video, but there's just so many great points to this video. Okay,